Alright, this is Alex703 Rockstar. I am back. And sorry if I was screaming a little in the past two videos. Again, the music is louder in my ears than it comes through on camera. Sorry, guys. Anyway, so today is the prize draw. Yay! But first, I want to list my top 10 favorite bands. Long awaited here, 1 week. And I'm going to do them in two separate videos just in case, you know, for time purposes. And if you want to see one and not the other, that's totally okay. Anyway, I have some honorable mentions for favorite bands as it took me a while to compile this list. So honorable mentions here that didn't quite make it, and there are a lot more, but honestly I didn't really want to be bothered. Chaos, Oasis, The Clash, Led Zeppelin, Spoon, Monster Magnet, and Eagles of Death Metal, and Muse. Honorable mentions, but didn't quite make the list. There's some other stuff, as I said, but too bad. Now, let's start with the list. Top 10 favorite bands. Numero 10. The White Stripes. The White Stripes are Jack White and Meg White on guitar and drums, respectively. No bass. They're this brilliant, you know, throwback to 60s rock, but they have this modern rock edge to them, and I think it's that combination that makes me really, really enjoy their albums. This album, De Stigel, is fantastic. I don't know how to, it's in Dutch, so I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's very good. They have the whole red, white, and black thing going on. Very good band, the White Stripes, blues rock at its finest. They sound like Led Zeppelin sometimes, but Jack White has an incredible voice. Number 9, Our Lady Peace. Now, I know their last 3 albums have been horrible. However, their first, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Their first 5 albums, or is it 4? Yeah, their first 4 albums were absolutely brilliant. I know some people consider them like post-grunge, what's it called? What's that genre? Post-grunge, I guess it's called. But, you know, they're just a step above that. Rain Maida's vocals are excellent. His little raspy croon that he does, that falsetto that he used to do, he doesn't do it anymore, is awesome. And they could just really rock out. Check out this album, Clumsy, and check out their album, Spiritual Machines. I think those are their best 2 albums. Number 8, top 10 bands. Sonic Youth. Now, Sonic Youth have built a total fucking legacy, man. They've done so many different things from their first couple of albums that were really, their songs had no structure. They were just kind of there. It was this post-rock, post-punk stuff. That was pretty cool, but their first couple albums weren't so good. They didn't really formulate their sound yet. But then after that, on Sister and Evil and Daydream Nation, oh my god, that is incredible. And then in the early 90s with 30, they had this harder rock edge. Brilliant stuff. They've made some bad albums, but for the most part, most of their 15 albums that they've made, most of them are really good. And their last album, The Eternal, was excellent. Anyway, number 7, Ween. This is their album, White Pepper. Like Sir All About Music said, he quoted, or paraphrased Henry Rollins when Henry Rollins said that Ween single-handedly kept indie rock interesting. And to be honest, I had never bought one of their albums for a while, but on the first listen of White Pepper, I was hooked. They are an incredible band. They go around, they're funny, they're eccentric, and most of all, they're awesome musicians. Half their songs are some satire on another band or making fun of a style or something, but they just do it so brilliantly that you can make fun of something and still enjoy that exact genre. Kind of like what we're listening to now, Monster Magnet. This album, Spine of God, is quite good. But besides the point, not even in my favorite bands list. Okay. Number 6. Now, this is not the same genre, but Wu-Tang Clan. Now, if you don't know about Wu-Tang Clan and you're a rap fan, you need to listen to them immediately. What I love about them is their production is completely unmatched. The RZA and Jizza get these beats that are like, it makes you seem like you're in an atmospheric dreamy place, but it's like a nightmare, you know? It's not a happy dream, it's a nightmare. And they have 9 of the most diverse and interesting musicians, rappers that you'll ever find. They each have their own flow. Upon like 1 or 2 listens, you can distinguish who each of them are. This album is incredible. Wu-Tang Clan are incredible, and they've spawned all these solo albums that are brilliant. And if you like MF Doom also, his whole skit style music comes from here. What am I looking at? Okay, number 5, Modest Mouse. I've really gotten into Modest Mouse, especially since Christmas. The way they've just changed from this little lo-fi indie band to these long, drawn-out songs to these short, punky songs, they've just adapted over their careers. Now, their last album, We Were Dead Before the Ship Even Sank, isn't so great, but I actually enjoyed this EP, this B-Sides EP, No One's First and You're Next. Quite good. I feel like they don't make a lot of albums. They take a long time to come out with albums, but when they do come out with albums, they tend to be very good. Now, next, this is a real special one here. The Kinks. This is their album Sleepwalker. Now, the Kinks are a band that influenced many other of my favorite bands, such as The Jam and Blur. And they're just absolutely brilliant. They're the real precursors to Britpop. And while their early stuff was just trying to be like their early 60s little short pop songs, were not as good. Although they have some hits as You Really Got Me, and All Day and All of the Night, you know. But it was really their late 60s, early 70s, all through the 70s stuff that was brilliant. Ray Davies had this longing for an England that never existed, which I always thought was really interesting. Muswell Hillbillies is brilliant. And they put out the best ever Greatest Hits album ever, because I hate Greatest Hits albums normally, but this was sequenced in such a way that it played like a studio album. It was its own recording. And they had a lot of B-sides on there and stuff. Their B-sides were brilliant. In the 80s, they went through a real swoon when Ray started allowing Dave to write some of the songs. I thought that was a bad period for them. But their last album, Phobia, was brilliant. And Ray Davies' solo albums have been really good. Anyway, number 3 most top 10 favorite bands, the Jimi Hendrix Experience. Now, I've already explained why I like them in my review of this LP. But here, I'll recap it. Jimi Hendrix is the best guitarist of all time. Mitch Mitchell and Noel Redding are both brilliant musicians themselves. And they just created music that had never been heard before at that time. It's incredible. Incredible. They're just amazing. Just listen to them. That song, When the Wind Cries Mary, oh my god, it blows your mind. Anyway, my number 2 favorite band, Blur. Now, Blur, this is Parklife, by the way. Now, Blur is a band that was influenced by the Kinks, but I actually enjoy them more than the Kinks. Maybe it's simply because they're more in my time period, I guess, in my era. Although it's really a generation before me, but I just love almost everything they do. I hate to just keep repeating, I love this, I love that, but it's my favorite bands. What am I gonna say? All these songs, they just have these brilliant pop hooks, and they just, I can't even describe why I like Blur. I just do. Just listen to Blur. And now, my number 1 favorite band of all time. This is going to surprise the shit out of some people. And while I'm not as into them right now, I still totally love this band. And that is, oh shit, Queens of the Stone Age. Yes, they revolutionized the way I thought about music. Because before that, I was kind of like, yeah, rock kind of sucks in the 2000s. I have to listen to this indie stuff, this. I listened to Queens of the Stone Age. I was like, fuck that. Rock is way still alive. They make whatever music they want. They change their sound from album to album. And they are such brilliant musicians whoever they bring in and out. It's absolutely brilliant. Now, this is their best album. None of their other albums can even touch this. But, they are so good. Just listen to them. I have their whole discography except their first album. Their first album is fucking hard to get your hands on. It's out of print, and so you have to go online and order it, and I'm not really willing to pay some of the prices you have to pay. I know it doesn't seem that much, but, you know, I'd rather buy other albums. I need to get their first album, though. Anyway, that's a list of my top 10 favorite bands. I've almost